one of the things that we've been hearing a lot about is a term starting to come back, and that is an adjustable rate mortgage. ARM, or an ARM as a lot of people know it as. And, we know back in 06, 07, 08, those got a little out of control because after that locked in period, things were just kind of all over the place. But with rates going the way they are now, there might be some opportunities for people to take advantage of those. So tell us a little bit more about those and, who they might be a good option for and who you probably wouldn't recommend them for.
Yeah, absolutely. So ARM, like you said, adjustable rate mortgage. I've not done one of those in 10 years, 12 years since, to your point, 06, 07, 08, they were very popular back then. Back then, the main ARM was a 228, which means the rate stays fixed for 2 years. And then the next 28, it goes to the variable rate. So a 3-1 ARM has a lower rate than a 5-year ARM, and a 5-year ARM has a lower rate than a 7-year ARM. So the longer the rate is fixed, that determines the interest rate.
Right.
So
but you can't.
If you went worst case scenario and your rate was locked at 4, after that X amount of period, it could go up to as high as 9.
This reminds me of that.
Third year, though.
This reminds me of that scene in The Big Short when he's at the strip club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And this is that she's talking about, and we're kind of joking, but this is actually how they got in trouble last time, right? I mean, he says to...
All those rates were ARMs, and I think 80% of foreclosures, don't quote me again, were ARM loans.
Right. And she thought she could, the exotic dancer thought that she could refinance, and he tells her, well, he's lying, right? Like you get in trouble.
Still qualified back in the day. So yes.
Give the 94 Niners listening out there a little bit of an explanation about points, and then are points applicable in an ARM? So for example, if your ARM rate was going to be 4%, could you pay points to lower that to set yourself up to be even, at a lower interest rate? So if it did double, to Ryan's point, maybe you're paid enough points to get it down to 2, so it's doubling to 4 versus starting at 4 and doubling to 8.
Yeah. So a point is 1 point is 1% of the loan amount. So just for rough numbers, let's just say our mortgage is $200,000. 1 point would be $2,000. So what you can do is you can give that 1 point to the bank ahead of time. Like, here, Mr. Bank, here's $2,000 I'm going to give you today. And my rate will go from 4 to say 375 on that ARM. Now, to your point, that extra, usually with a point, your break-even point is 7 years. So in other words, you'll save whatever amount per month to pay that point. You won't recoup that $2,000 until usually year 6 or 7. So I never recommend ARM points on ARM loans, just because the break even normally doesn't work out, because you're going to either your goal is to refinance or sell or get out of that loan within that 5 to 7 year period. So I never really recommend. It's a good question, but in my opinion, I would not pay points on an ARM loan. ARM's more of a long-term play. So if you're going to be in the house for 30 years and you want to pay 1 or 2 points, in the long run, you're going to save money. It's not really a short-term fix. So if you're only going to be in the house for 3 years, you never want to pay points. You'll never recoup that money.